years, going on 3 years. And like I always say, there's no family meeting without you. So if you're here and you think there's somebody that's supposed to be here, kindly send the link to bring them in. And while we do that, I want us to, for those of us that are here, I want us to go to the chat section and drop your name and where you're joining in from. Just let me know. I just told you my name is Ebu Fawale and I am speaking to you from Lagos, Nigeria. So guys, I want to see in the chat session, where are you joining in from? Thank you for joining. Where are you joining in from? Yeah, I'm waiting to read. Am I the only one in the room? Please, if you're in the room, let me see, let me see, let me see. Okay, Sheon is joining from Ojodu. Ojodu is in Lagos. Thank you, Sheon, for joining. Who else? Patience is joining from the UK. Good evening, Patience. Thank you for joining. Adetong is joining in from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you, Adetong, for joining. Who else is in the house? Please call your friends, call your family. This is something that if you are going to attend a seminar or a master class, it's going to cost you a lot. And this is what we do in family meeting, talking about everything concerning the family. We talk about the nuclear family, polygamous family, divorce, children, parenting, and it's been an amazing and beautiful time. Every time we come here, and we have different testimonies from people attesting to how this program has transformed them, especially those in the parenting side, you know, because here we bring children to come and tell parents their expectations of us as parents, and they come on us big. We have the girls' day celebration, we have the boys' day celebration, and we treat topics in different aspects. So, yeah. Okay, so I am expecting about 70 people this evening, and I think we're about 17 now. Usually what I do is to say, do you want us to be selfish or you want us to wait? This is 7:06. Some people are just coming back from party. Some people are just rounding up in the kitchen. For those of us in Nigeria, some people are just rounding up in the kitchen. So what do you think? Do you want us to enjoy the music, or we just go ahead, or we just go on? I have one of the guests in the room already. And yeah, this evening, usually it's just me that handles this. But this evening, I have another person who will be moderating with me. Okay, Teajay said we should go on. Yes, I don't also like to take people who join meetings for granted. So yes, we should go on. Thank you very much for that. I don't want to take you for granted. For those of you that joined early, I don't want to take you for granted. Oh, interesting. Please, so please, you can just Bluetooth whatever it is you're cooking. Just Bluetooth it to me and let's enjoy it together. Thank you, Tosin, for taking the pain to do all that. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, so we're moving on, and I was saying that this evening I have an amazing sister who is going to join me in moderating this session, and it's going to be an interesting one. So fasten your seatbelts. I have Oluseun Oshikoya joining me here. Admin, please could you spotlight Seun? Hi, Seun, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. I see you're sparkling red.
Yes, we are in the love season. We are still in the love season, and we
Absolutely.
are speaking love and life today. So
Oh,
we have to
yes.
represent.
Represent well. I remember when I did, I went for color therapy. One of the colors that I was told to start wearing is red. And that is why
Your
since then,
glasses.
my glasses is always red. There's that light, there's that sparkling, there's that fire that comes with the red color. And so I can see that's your red shirt. It's really, it's on fire. So thank you very much for joining. Admin, please spotlight the two of us so that we can start this conversation. And I'm going to start. Chunu is also a family life practitioner, and we're going to be having a beautiful ride together on the show. Yes. Okay. So I have my two guests in the house already. I have Marvy Okoro in the room, and I have TJ. TJ is also around, though he said he's driving, but he's going to be joining us. So, Sean, what do you have to say about love? What is
Well,
love and what is life?
well, love is the essence of life. Let me summarize it like that. Love is the essence of life. And we can see the results of the absence of love in the world. Right? And that is why the world is almost like upside down. I like the communication that was sent out, right? That talked about the effect of love in everything that we do. So it's not necessarily just between couples alone. Once love is even in the work that we do, even how we speak, it says, add love to talking. You will communicate. You will not shout. You will not back. Do you understand? It says, add love to looking and you will see. Right? So love actually adds, it changes almost everything with regards to life, and it makes life beautiful. That's what I will say. It adds a lot of, I don't know, spice, to life. So love is not just restricted to relationships and, butterflies in the tummy. But if you add love to your cooking self, do you understand? Something that is salty will taste different. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. So love makes life beautiful. Let me just, let me not say everything so that Marvy will still have something to say.
Absolutely. I love the perspective you brought in from there, that we can't do anything. We can't exist without love. And the fact that there's chaos in our world now is as a result of lack of love. We're not showing love enough. Some people are not even showing love at all. And this is why we are here. Love and life, they form the symphony of our human existence. With love as the melody, the highs and lows of life, we're able to do it easily and sweetly. You will enjoy life. She said something about add love even to your cooking. Recently I started watching Indian movies, and you see those women saying, "Oh, I cook this food with love." Like love is part of the ingredients, so you
Yeah.
just have to eat it, and when you take it, it will change your life, kind of a thing. So love is very important. Love colors our journey. Probably some of the things that is happening to us is because we are not even loving ourselves, and that is why we are here. And so these are the things we're going to be discussing this evening. Hello, Marvy, are you here? Marvy, can you please come up on your camera?
Yes, I'm here.
When you
Good
see people that
evening.
are enjoying love, that are love personified, you will see them, you will see them, you identify them.
Irradiates all over.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ebo. Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ma'am, thank you, Lady Olu. Sorry, I didn't get your full name.
Sheo Oluwaseun is
Oluwaseun.
my name.
Oluwaseun.
You don't recognize me?
Maybe it was the glasses. I think I do now.
Thank you very much, Marvy, for joining. TJ, just say hello behind the steering. We're here. We can hear your voice.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. And I'm in love with what is happening already.
Oh, thank you very much, TJ. Please get to your destination safe and come online as soon as you can. Thank you very much. Okay, so I yield the mic to Sheung. Sheung, I want you to start this conversation with Marvy.
Okay, great. I want to welcome everyone again for joining this evening. And I assure you that, by the time we are leaving, we'll have learned a lot and our life will be more beautiful because of the understanding or better understanding of love and life that we're going to have today. Right, so let's dive right into it. I always like to start with the foundation of everything, because they said that if the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do, right? So let's even understand what exactly is love, because a lot of people have different definitions, different meanings to this love. What exactly is love with regards to life in general, right? So we can relate it to, and maybe in your definition, you can also help us to distinguish or differentiate it, from the one between the couples and the one, in relationships rather, and then life in general. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Lady Sharon. So while I was ruminating over this topic and preparing, something really hit me hard and I'm going to share it. But before I do, I would say that for me, love is the nucleus of life. That is as simple as it gets. In the roots or at the root of, and that's why I'm happy that the topic says love and life, right? Because at the root of everything that has to do with living and living well, at the root of it, at the center is love. Love is the reason why you will be elected into public office and you will not divert funds to yourself. Love is the reason why you will charge people to do a job and you do a good job. Not just merely loving yourself, but loving the other person enough to respect the person's trust in you. Love is the reason why you keep showing up no matter how hard. And I'm not talking about an abuse. I'm talking about, the little things that count in your own sphere of influence. So I'm looking at it now from a very wider perspective. But in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, the writer makes a very startling comparison of what love is. He said, if I could speak with the tongues of angels, if I'm powerful, if I'm wealthy, if I'm this and that and those and the other, and I have not love, I'm what? I'm just a noisemaker.
Nothing, no.
So, I'm nothing. I'm just a noisemaker. So love is the difference between the person who is living and the person who is really, really living. Person who is existing and person who is really living. You can choose to live your life on the basis of not loving. I just want to be by myself. I'm not loving anyone. I'm doing everything for me. You can do that and maybe get rich while you're at it, but you would not really have lived. You would not really have left your footprint on the sands of time if you truly did not love. And for me, if you do not understand love, you have no business in the romantic aspect of love, because you have to see the person first as a human being before you see the person as something that you love.
Your lover.
Yes, your love, because that word love has been one of the most abused words in English language. You see somebody, you just say, I love you. I love you, and your eye is going to some other places. Is that love? I love you. So I would say that love is the nucleus of life. And for you to even claim to love somebody, you have to start by loving yourself. Because if you do not love yourself enough, if you do not understand that you are human, you are the object of God's like he looked at you and said you are very good. If you don't have that understanding about yourself, you will not be able to love another person. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, you did. You actually did. But very interestingly, you closed with a very, very remarkable statement about if you want to love, you have to love yourself first. Now, before I ask Dr. Ebun to join or, to add one or two things or to ask a question, I wanted to ask you is it automatic for someone to love? Are you born with it? Is it a follow come, for you to love as you are born, you just love like that, and then how do you get to, love yourself? Is it automatic as well? Because so for instance, a baby is born, will they just start loving, and then will they just start loving themselves? How do you even know that you love yourself, before you start loving someone? And then is it just automatic that you just start loving?
Lady Sean, you ask very deep and interesting questions. And I'm really excited about this question. And the truth is, everyone is born with the instinct to love. And that is why, at the point of birth, at the point when that child is born, okay, so picture this. I remember when I had my very first introduction into motherhood in 2013. So the baby, I was in labor for over 20 hours. But the moment my eyes on this little fat,
Precious.
big-headed, but precious baby, every single pain that I had felt melted away. And I was just in awe, like, my goodness, I created this, And the baby soon got attached to me. I carried him, and I noticed that in the days that followed, if someone else, even as 1 week, 2 weeks old, if someone else carried him, and that someone else was not me, he would know, because he had come to associate himself with you. He has come to bond with me. He has come to feel a sense of safety around me that I know. And I'm not saying that they are born with any opinion about human beings, but the moment they begin to grow and they start to see, and you say things like, don't worry, if you pass your exam, you'll be my friend. So if you fail your exam, you will not be my friend. And then they grow with this ideology that love has to be paid for, or love has to,
or conditional.
Yeah, it has to be conditional. There's something you have to do, to make them love you or make them lovable. So I remember this same baby of 2013. When he was 8, his teacher called me and told me that they were writing a test, and he brought out his book and he was copying from the book. So I'm sure the teacher was expecting me to explode, but I just smiled. In my heart, I was troubled. I was like, hey, Kilele, where did I go wrong as a mother? But I was, when she finished, the boy entered the car because I had to take him home as punishment for what he did. I took the boy home. We did not say anything. I did not say anything to him until we got home. And then the first question he asked me was, Mommy, do you still love me? I said, disappointed, yes. I am disappointed that you do a thing like this, but whatever you do, I will still love you, because I'm not loving you as a result of anything you've done. I'm loving you because you came from me, right? You are my son. But I am disappointed that you carried a book. What happened? See, Mommy, I don't even know. I crying. All of a sudden, he began to chastise himself and all of that. So why did I share this story? Children are born with the propensity to love. We are all born love beings. That is who we are, because we were made in the image and likeness of God. sorry, just one minute. We're made in the image and likeness of God, right? And God is love. Therefore, we were born with the propensity to love. But as we grew up, we began to have things that defined our reactions, that defined how we associated with people. Were conditioned differently, and it began to tamper with our ability to love, even love yourself. So when you feel that there's something wrong with you, and that's why your parents speak down on you. I see these things about middle children and how they feel they are not seen and heard. Do you know that can also affect how they give love to other people? That can affect, because that's how they see themselves. Nobody is seeing me, so it is hard for them to receive love. And if a person cannot receive love, trust me, they cannot give it. If you cannot receive love, you can't give love. Or what do you think? Do you think you can give love if you cannot receive love? You can't give love.
Give what
You
you
can't
don't
give
have.
what you don't have, yeah.
You can't give what you don't have. And I noticed that indeed there is a trend that the first child is loved, and you show all the affection, and then the discipline, you do all of that. The second child is like, most of the time that second child comes maybe like one year after the first child was born. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
that one is like the pain in the ass. And then the third one comes. And so that second child is struggling to receive love and give love. So it all comes down to conditioning. So when you are conditioned not to love, when you're conditioned to think that you do not deserve love, you will see somebody and the love, you will not be able to connect. Why do I have to? And it's not like they're forming, it's not like they're trying to be harsh or mean. That's just how they view life. And I've come to understand that people who don't give love do not give it because they're trying to be mean, because that is all they have known all their lives. Or maybe they have been through series of experiences that have crippled their ability to love. So one, you cannot give what you don't have. Two, it is able. So yeah, in answer to your question, indeed, I believe that we were born with the ability to love, but conditioning can hinder the ability to express love. And then secondly, you cannot give what you don't have, like Dr. Ebon has said. So if you don't love yourself enough, if you cannot receive love, I don't think you can't give love.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marvy, for that. I don't know whether Dr. Ebo has a comment or a question. We welcome you, Teajay.
Thank you, Marvy, for that intelligent way of answering the question. I just want to give Teajay the opportunity to also respond to that question. So we're saying that what happened? Is love, is it magical? Do we learn it, or we are born with it? Yeah.
Thank you. PhD Ebu. Thank you, and Olu and Mary, thank you. Mary, I think you made the word work easy. I should just come. Marvy, I'm saying, Marvy. Oh, my sincere apologies. I think I should just be saying anything you say. I'll say just as she said, because
don't give me that. We want the male perspective.
Yeah, growing up, I remember in secondary school when we ask about what love is, we say things like love is a feeling when you feel what you've never felt before.
Yeah.
Until I felt a slap I have never felt before. I got to realize that love is not a feeling. Love evokes feeling, but love is not a feeling. Then as I lived forward through life, I got to understand gradually that for me, the best definition of love is who we are. Love is who you are. You are designed, your design is framed in love. Your design was framed to function by love. Love is the core, the essence of who we are. So love is you. Love is you personified. Love rather is the best of life personified through you and how you express it to humanity. And if we have that understanding, that we're created in love, then we'll be asking about the creator's idea and the creator's personality. As a Christian, I believe the scriptures, it said he made us in his image. And scriptures also says, God is love. And if God is love and we're in his image, therefore we are love. And then, so understanding who we are, our framework in the context of that statement, and it shows that God created us as love to express who we are. That's love to mankind, to humanity. So anything we do outside love is a false expression of who we are and a wrong definition of who we are. So answering your question, love is who we are. We are born, we are love born. We are love designed, we are love created. The only reason we may not think so is because we have restricted love to a feeling. And then, feelings are temporal. Feelings are temporal. So you will never, ever get a right definition if you are resting on emotions. Emotions are always, controlled by happenings around you. And in that thought, it means that who you are, if you're thinking about feeling, who you are is subject to what happens around you. And we all know that if we go deep into that, or in fact, just at the top, we all know that that's not true. So love encompasses a whole lot. And the more you dive into the discovery of yourself, probably I'm shooting further because I think Marvy talked about loving yourself. The more you dive into understanding yourself, your framework, the more you understand love and the more you love who you are. So it's just so fantastic that we are a creation of love that is yet to express itself in its true definition. So we fight with emotions and we stay there.
Okay, thank you, TJ. You have come in from the perspective of the professors. And I love that. Love is who we are. Love is who we are. Anything we do outside love is not who we are. So that's as just put everything that we have been discussing together to say our life, our living, everything about us is love. So if you're doing anything right now out of love, then that is not you. So you should trace your step back to say, okay, so this is not me, then who am I? He said something, and I think Marvy also said that we are made in the image of the one who created us, and the one who created us is love. So we can't do anything less. We can't be anything less. And so if you're not doing anything in love right now, you need to trace your step back. That will take me to what Marvy explained. Then you need to trace yourself back to your upbringing. Where did they get it wrong? Where did the upbringing, where is that playing out? What happened to your upbringing? And we always say it here, if you need somebody to talk to, you know how to get us. Admin, please remember to always drop the phone numbers so that people can reach out. Okay, so TJ, I take this to you. Somebody said, my husband taught me that love is a decision, not a feeling. Okay, yeah. So what kind of love is this? This love is a decision.
Okay, so love is an action word. It's a verb. So okay, let me put this way. Your husband is talking from the place of understanding what love is, of his understanding of what love is. And if you don't understand that, it's just because it's not that he's wrong. It's just because he has come to the place where he realized that you function by love, and then for you to function by love, you have to be intentional. So if I am thirsty and I know water quenches thirst, that doesn't quench my thirst. My knowledge of the fact that water quenches thirst doesn't quench my thirst. There need to be the decision to get up, to go to the fridge and get water, or to call somebody. There is an action involved, and that action it's intentional. You make a decision. So for you to express who you are, you have to decide to say, you know what, I want to give the best of who I am to the world. Nobody will make you do that apart from you. You owe yourself that responsibility, and you owe the world the love that you carry. So it's now a choice. And let me just add this. We actually all function better from the place of love. And I want you to think about this. Yeah, everything you have done and that you did in love, you were at the best emotionally, you are at the best state mentally, you are the best state physically, because your system will respond to your acceptance, your understanding, I don't know the word to use, that you are this person and you are choosing to express yourself as this. Everything you responds in that light. Now, think about the time where you did something for someone, or you did anything at all, and the place where you felt disgust, you felt hatred, you felt pain. Every time you did that, you actually never functioned at your best. If you had written an exam that time, you would not even have gotten your best grade. You know, anything you do, sometimes you find yourself passing over, what's that thing called? When you pour your anger on somebody who is just innocently there. So what is called?
Yeah.
You just transferred aggression.
Yes,
Aggression.
you yourself transferring aggression unnecessarily. One of those states is especially the states where you are both hungry and angry. You know, you just find yourself, and when you sit down and you think through your actions, you know you didn't do well. You feel bad about it. But when you function, you communicate from the place of love, you're always at your best. Your solutions, your answers is always premium when you operate from the place of love. So it's when you have this understanding, you can now choose to say, regardless of, Marvy was talking about unconditional love, regardless of the situation, I choose to love. Regardless of the responses or reaction, I choose to love. So you become a constant definition of true love without the external factors influencing you emotionally, and that's basically what your husband, I think, was saying. I think I explained it with too many words.
Oh no, you needed to do that, because that explanation is so simple and easy to get. Saying that, so that drama, that feeling that we have is the effect of the fact that we are operating at that state of love, and that's where the drama is. So when you're operating, when you are doing things from that place of love, you will feel the happiness, you feel the joy. You can't say love and frown. You can't say I love you and you're frowning. Even if there is no alignment between your words and your thoughts, there's that thing that you feel, even calling that word love. No matter how much you say the word has been bastardized or the word has been overused, let somebody say, oh, I love you now. The first thing that comes to people's mind is that feeling, that affection, and so I love what Teajay just said about the fact that we function better when we operate from a place of love. Thank you very much, Teajay and Marvy. Thank you. So Oluwaseun, do you have any other things to say or any questions?
Yeah. So very interestingly, right? There's this, as a family life practitioner, there's something that has always been, that came to me, while in this journey, right? And it was something that Teajay mentioned, right? He mentioned it subtly. He said that, the comment on the box that he just responded to, that was the husband's, definition. And the question now is there a danger where couples don't have the same understanding of what love is? So a wife can have an understanding of what love is, and then it's different from what the husband understands. You understand? Is there a reason to have the same understanding of what love is, or It's okay for wife to think this way, or for husband to think this way. What's the important? Is there any importance, or is there any significance of having the same understanding of what love is? And they must know from the very beginning, so that they know that, okay, oh, this is my own meaning of love, or this is your own meaning of love. Or does it help the union in any way, having a good understanding of what love is? And then question number two, let me just add that, right? Question number two is this, that, because we have said, when I started, I said the world is upside down and we need love. That means that the world operates. And since we all know that, love makes everything beautiful. Is there something that we are benefiting from not loving? Do you understand? It's just like this 419s. This 419s that keep sending messages. It's because somebody is responding to them and they are gaining from it. That's why they keep doing it. So is that something we are benefiting, from on a larger scale, right? Okay. So maybe I'll throw that to Marvy.
Okay.
Those two questions, and then Teajay too.
Okay. The first question you asked was, is it important that the people
on the same page
in a marriage understand? Yeah. Yes. Now I'm going to answer this question in two ways. There is love language, and then there is understanding what love truly is, right? Yeah. So this love language is secondary. You cannot, the love language will be built upon the number one, which is the main thing, understanding what love really is. If you don't know what love is, then we cannot be talking about love language. And this is why I say this. I remember when I was in uni, we were having a conversation in my room, and my roommate goes, this guy is very rich. He knows how to spoil somebody. He buys gifts for me. In fact, I really love you. So I was minding my business. So I was lying on my bed, minding my business. So when she said, in fact, I really love him. So I now asked him, so let me get this straight. The reason you love him is because he buys you gifts. And so if he stops buying you gifts, he said, what is love without? But yeah, so she now goes, so what is love without money? So to her, love is equal to money. So this also means that if you fall upon a situation where you're unable, or you start having children, all right, you start having children and you need to, be more economical with your funds, or you get to a situation where maybe the husband loses his job or something, you start your real you will start coming out. You start behaving. I don't know if you can hear me. Looks like
yes, we can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Your real you becomes visible. So this leads me to saying that if both of you are not on the same page on love, you will not go very far, except you choose to. One person chooses to align with the other person. It is important that you understand what love truly is. If you know in this relationship, love is about ensuring that both of us are okay. Love is about, even if we are mad at each other, we are not mean to each other. We don't say unkind things to each other. In this relationship, so love is patient. This is the background of what love is. Love is kind. Love does not revel in the downfall of another person. Love, if you read that 1 Corinthians 13, you can apply that principle of love to anything, to anyone, to any relationship, not just between a man and a woman. In fact, if you really understand that love is patient, you see somebody that will tell you, I love you, and yet they are unkind to you. That is not love. That is something else. I don't understand what that is, but that's not love. You see somebody is saying that they love you, and then the moment things are not going well with you, they are the first person to rile you out. That is not love. Love supports. I shouldn't come to you now. Let's say you have a 3-year-old who messes himself up. Are you going to look at that baby and be like, get out? I don't even know that so I give birth to you. What do you do to your 3-year-old? You clean him up. You clean him up. You clean him up kindly. with a smile on your face because you love him, because you love your baby. I'm not saying that people should not be answerable to their mistakes. I'm not saying that you should not hold people accountable to their faults. I'm just saying that if you truly love someone, you will have that person's back. So if you understand, if both of you are on this same page, you're not going to be speaking any love language that they will not be able to hear. So the only reason I can decode the language is because I can even hear that language in the first place. And this language you're talking about is love language. The only way I can even hear the language you're speaking to me is because I'm able to decode it. You give me gifts. Are you giving me gifts to buy my silence? Are you giving me gifts? You know, there are some marriages where the man feels like, as long as I buy her gifts, I don't have to be responsible. I don't have to be accountable, you know, because the gift shuts her up, you know, from looking at the things I'm obviously doing wrong. In that sense, are you really speaking the person's love language, even if truly that person likes to receive gifts? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I mean? I'm going with.
Yeah.
So you cannot speak a language that I'm unable to decode. So you are such an amazing man. You take care of the family. You bring gifts, but I don't feel that you support me. I don't feel that you are able to speak to me and defend me in the presence of the in-laws. But you give me gifts. You give me gifts. But I see how worthless I feel around you. I don't have any, but you're now saying, you know, it's because I love you. It's because I love you as how? The question really used to confuse me. It's because you love me as how?
Confuse me too.
It's confusing me.
Okay. TJ. Okay, are you still talking? Okay,
No,
please go ahead.
She asked two questions. She
asked,
yeah.
What was the second question again?
Now, that do people benefit from not loving? Why is it that's unloving that is so common everywhere?
People don't benefit from not loving. No. At the end of the day, you find out that you are alone. And when you are alone, you are vulnerable. You are more vulnerable alone than when you open up to people. You are more vulnerable alone than when you open up to people. There is absolutely no benefit in not being in being unlovable. But I don't know if there's such thing as being unlovable. I think that the people that we term unlovable are people who are scarred and need to heal. That's what I think. TJ, what do you think?
Yeah, I was going to throw that question to TJ based on the foundation he laid, saying that we function better when we operate from a place of love. So if we say we function better, all this you are pinching me and you are blowing it and you're saying it's because you love me. Me too, I didn't understand it. Can we hear from the male's perspective?
Okay, first let me disclaimer here. This is not a general male perspective. This is my perspective.
That's true.
Men here. I happen to just be a man now in this conversation, the man in this conversation, but like I said, same as above, as Marvy has said, but our definitions in life come from, most times, it doesn't come from an understanding that is a function of a deep dive research, but it comes from experiences. So the average person has a definition of, it's just, for instance, if I say, what is this? If I say, what is this? This is a mouse, right? Everybody will say a mouse. Everybody will say mouse. But this is actually not just a mouse. It only has been defined as a mouse. If we melt this, what does it become?
True.
Yeah.
Plastic.
Yes. If my sees this, he's going to open it and he's going to take the parts inside and he's going to make something out of it. So this is not just a mouse, but we have defined it, maybe because of the function we think, but we're not thinking beyond the function. So in life, most times, relating that to what I just earlier said, we have defined love based on the experiences and the social narratives that we have around. So love is when I am there for you. I'm always showing up for you. Love is when I buy you gifts, and all this Z World and all those things that we watch keep on rewiring, our brain. Love is when I sing Indian song for my wife. Love is all those things when I come with rose flower, and ask the average African man or African lady, what does this thing mean? We many of us will just tell ourselves, our husband give us, we say, oh, in our mind, we're asking, what is that? Now, rose and one chop, so we have defined love based on all this. And this has given us biases in which we find it hard relating when we see love expressed in a form that we don't understand. And that's, it gives couples, these challenges. Talking about experiences, I, for one, I grew up in a family where my dad hugs us, play with us. So my daughter coming here to give me a kiss. Just came here to tell me.
That.
I
saw the keys.
I grew up in that environment, so it's easy for me to do it. My wife grew up without all that. So if I tell my wife I love you, she says thank you. And I'm like, did I give you? She said or she would just say I hear now. Like, really?
I don't hear.
And not even how much is not here. So her understanding of love is, we don't marry now, we are together. Am I quarreling? What do you want to be all this? I am the one who wants all this gang.
All the drama.
I beg. So our understanding of what love is, it's really different. But now see the interesting thing. Because I love her, I'm not seeing all those things as anything. I mean, once they amuse me, and I kind of tell her that when God created her, God forgot to add emotion in the mix. So, and she laughs about it. I said, so my work now is to ensure that I awaken your emotions, because we went for a training, and in the training we went to a deep, dive, all those things we do in class, and people were crying. People were just going through their past. They saw their trauma, they were crying. My wife was like, "Honey, why are they crying?" But see, now this is me laughing. It amuses me, and I love it. Because I don't see her response to me based on my understanding of, or rather my expectation of how she should understand love to be. But I see her response to me as an opportunity to get to understand her better, love her better, lead her better. And that's what love is. Love is not expecting perfect. Love is making perfect regardless. So in that place of, husband and wife, it's a beautiful thing when two of you don't even think about what love is together. Think about the drama, the memories. I keep on telling her, I say one day in future, and all those women's meeting people are going to, one day in future, you'll be telling them stories of how you frustrated me. And she will laugh and laugh, But the same actions, I could read it. If I don't understand what love is, I could read it the wrong way. And before you know, it's friction. So difference in understanding of love for me, it even gives an opportunity to create a more interesting experience of what love is. Because, when you bring A and I bring B, what do we have? We don't just have A and B, we have Abba or Baba. We have different things we make out of it, and that's what makes love interesting. And then to the second question of if people benefit. Oh, yes, people do benefit. Yes, there's always a benefit. There's always a benefit. But the question is, what kind of benefits? So people benefit the momentary pleasure of thinking that they frustrated you with their wickedness, with their hatred, with their, I don't do it, and all that. And also, they forget to realize that all things actually work for good. So, whatever it is that you did to them, for those people, if they have a good understanding of love, or if they are progressive in their learning or they're growing, it takes them to a place where they are doing evaluation and all that. They are seeing therapists or coaches to help them walk through whatever you did, and they get a better understanding and they bounce back and they're doing better. So you actually sent them to get help. But for you at that moment, it was, hey, I don't do them. So that's an immediate pleasure. So that's a benefit. But that pleasure is like trusting NEPA for your business. You know?
Disappointment.
Hi, say I've never said collect.
Lord, I've called your name, please. I don't want mine to go off here. So they derive that. And you know, sometimes that selfish feeling, one of the things it does, it imprisons you the more. So they don't know that they have actually felt good about going to prison. Because that's what he did. Thank you.
Thank you so much, TJ.
Okay, Oluwaseun, please, can I want to say something.
Yes,
and
please.
This is to appreciate TJ for sharing his personal life with us. You know, when we started this question from Oluwaseun and Marvy's perspective, if we pay attention well, it's like it is the man that does it. And I love the balance you brought to it to say, okay, I experience it. So, you know, men don't actually come out to talk. And these are part of the things we talk about in family meeting. So this is an example of a man who has also, you see, awareness for our generation. Awareness should be a plus for us to say, okay, this person just does not know how to express it. It doesn't mean that this person does not love me.
Yeah.
Right? So there are some men that are like TJ. We talked about upbringing when we were talking about things that affected or that defined our level of love.
Oh, yeah.
Conscience. To say that there are some men that are actually brought up in the environment that TJ grew from. And the truth is, if you see TJ, you just want to love up on him. Like, you even forget that he's married. And this is what the environment has conditioned him to be. So imagine that kind of a person and his wife. This is where men just tune off, like, what's that? And you know what men can do. But I want you to, we have quite a number of men in the room, TJ. And I want you to just say a word of encouragement to soothing that part. They don't have to lose it. And we also have women in the house that their husband, they are the lovey-dovey, and their husbands are not, they are, like you said, when God was creating them, they forgot that emotion. They forgot to add the flavor of
Emotions.
Yeah, please, I just want you to, because I just don't want us to gloss over this time and what we are discussing. Can we get healing also now? Yeah, thank you very much, TJ.
Thank you so much, PhD Ebu. And yeah, thank you for acknowledging that. And let me say this to every man watching here, and every woman as well watching here. You're not a problem. You are enough. Yeah. You're not a problem. You're not the problem in your relationship. You're not the problem. You're just enough. And it's just, you have not also discovered yourself enough. Yeah. So this is it. The truth is, it's easy for me to say this, not because it's easy, but just like the person who asked the question, I chose to embrace the fact that loving is the sweetest, most difficult thing to do. Yeah, it's the sweetest, most difficult thing to do. I have to embrace it. So I'm talking here and it's like, this guy has got these things, going. Probably we'll need an extra hour for me to really express some other things. But I have come to learn, thank God for like the environment I said I grew up with. I had a fantastic father. He is an amazing definition of who love is. Thank God for God himself, who also showed me love in a way that no human can. When I was at my down point, there was a time I was even suicidal. It got that bad. And thank God for giving me friends and associations, having people like a boon, the IFED family and all that around you. You get to experience love. All this I just said, they help a lot. But then it comes back to you to asking yourself this question: is your life truly a reflection of all the things that have happened to you so far, or all the things that are yet to happen that you can make happen? That's one question that keeps me going. I get to realize that my life's not it's not defined by the things that happened. Everybody can see that and they can use that to measure me. But I know deep within, there's so much that can happen that will beautify my world. And that thought makes me focus on working. And that's where we started from, working to understand so I can define and rightly express who I am. And at that point where you get that understanding, there is this confidence that's, swells up from within that enables you to express yourself as love personified. And that is something that can happen right now. So let me ask everybody here for 1 minute, just close your eyes. 1 minute, just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. And then tell yourself, I am loved. I am loved. I want you to make this an exercise you do. Just take a deep breath in. Think about the worst situation that has ever happened in your life. When you breathe in, then you breathe out and say, I am loved. I am loved. One of the things this exercise does to you is that it starts to program your subconscious to accept the truth of who you are. You are loved and you are loved. So, dear brothers and whoever is listening to me right now, the truth is you are loved and you are loved. You have the capacity to express love beyond the responses and reactions you've gotten so far. You have the capacity to also experience it. So I keep on telling my wife, I tell my wife, all this, I say, one of these children, I see how, we have a baby who is about a year and about 4 months now. She's always clingy. I said, this boy will go and cling to another woman one day. It's me that will be here. You'll be begging me to cling to you, And then I start to create the future where I see my wife and I speak it into her. And then guess what? Going back to something Marvy talked about, love languages. She gets to express herself in her language, and I accept it that she has done fantastic. Thank you, Queen. I am loved. I am loved. Loved. I am loved. And then, I see the things in her eyes, she can't really just, do all those mushy things. She just goes, her love language is gifts. And me, I not send gifts. My love language is words of affirmation. And my wife, we need the Holy Spirit to appear physically for her. So when she does that, when she does a thing, I'll now say after me, honey. She'll say, honey, I love you. I love you. With all my heart, she'll start to laugh. I say, come on, say it. Let it be that at least you have said it. But then that gift she has given has said it all. That said it all. So you are loved. You are loved and you are loved. And my prayer for you is that you get to experience who you truly are when you discover who you are. Thank you.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's beautiful. Thank you. That's like that's healing session. Oh yeah, Usher, admin, carry baskets and collect money. This is like an healing session, and yeah, let's take the offering. Thank you, TJ. Thank you, TJ. This is a beautiful one. When we started the conversation, Marvy took us down the memory lane of the fact that we're all given birth to, we are love. That is who we are. But things happen to us along the line as we grow up, our upbringing, the experiences of life that we have, and gradually, and that was when she told the story of her son, and gradually they have to put condition. If you don't do this, you will not do this, and condition. And in fact, some family they won't even put condition. They don't even know what love is. I remember at some point in my life, my daughter will be like, "Mommy, you don't know how to receive love." And it was because I have experienced betrayal. So I closed my mind to love, to say, "Excuse me, love, okay, I see," that kind of thing. And so it was my daughter that had to call my attention to it, to say, "With all this love I'm showing you, you're always like, mm. And some of those things we do them unconsciously. And that is because that is who we are. That is how we are in our minds and our hearts. And so we need to pay attention, whatever it is we have gone through that has put us in a fix. And I also remember that Marvy said something about you can't give what you don't have. So maybe we need to start by showing ourselves love. So I'm not, it is now all over self-love on social media. Please, I think we should also talk about what self-love is. It's not selfishness. Self-love is not selfishness. Self-love is loving yourself, paying attention to yourself, having compassion. If you're able to do that for yourself, before you talk brashly, before you behave rashly to the other person, you will be mindful and you think about it. If this is done to me, how will I feel? It will help you to always pause before we act. So maybe we should talk about self-love. Oluwaseun, before you ask your question, maybe Marvy, you said we can't give what we don't have. So when you say we can, how can I love myself so that my cup will be full? I can only give from my overflow. I can only give from my overflow. So what do you have to say about that?
I'm going to share with you 5 dimensions of self-love. Five dimensions of self-love. And these are the things that helped me love myself enough so that I can love other people. Number 1 is discipline. If you love yourself, you will be disciplined enough to pursue the dreams, pursue the goals that are in your heart. And do you know why discipline is an agenda in self-love? Discipline is an agenda in self-love. She's saying hi. Let her say hi.
Hello, daddy's girlfriend.
Don't let the mother hear.
Even the mommy knows since forever. All right, go ahead, Marvy.
Okay, so I said the first dimension of self-love is self-discipline. Disciplined enough to taking yourself seriously enough to work on yourself, just like Dr. Ebo said, to work on yourself, to denounce those habits that are holding you back, to stop procrastinating. Let me tell you, when you're supposed to do something and you go, well, I cannot come and kill myself, and next thing you're binging on Netflix, you think you are loving yourself, but you're not. You are shortchanging yourself. And because you have learned that it's okay not to give your best, you would not expect other people to give their best when they're with you, because you're not even giving your best to yourself. I don't know if you see where I'm going with this. So number 1 is self-discipline. Number 2 is to be anti-fragile. Being anti-fragile is learning to take correction and not breaking. learning to take feedback without breaking. I'm not saying you should not do soft life, but if soft life is against you loving yourself enough to improve, to be focused enough to improve on yourself, then you're not, you know that thing where your child will, you are afraid that telling your child this is not your very best result, you can do better. You think it's going to break that child. That's because that is how you grew up. If you love yourself enough to be anti-fragile, then you will see that it will start expressing in learning to toughen up. You know, like what TJ shared, there are so many people that this particular angle of their relationship will break them because I'm not receiving the dimension of what I expect to receive. This is not how I grew up. This is not what I grew up to learn or to know about love. And then I'm married to this woman, and she is bringing another perspective to this thing called love. And because they haven't loved themselves enough to take feedback without breaking, they begin to shortchange themselves. So self-love is not just that selfishness. It's not that thing where it's not eating too much, sleeping too much. It's not spending your money. It's not going shopping, oh, we need to do self-love. So let me go and shop. Let me blow all my money. I'm not having savings. That is not self-love. Self-love is number one, discipline. Number two, being anti-fragile. Number three, truth. Learning how to say what you have to say in truth. Now, telling yourself the truth is the first thing that shows that you love yourself. My children used to say that self-deception is as bad as cancer, something like that. Self-deception is as dangerous as cancer. I'm giving you the dimensions of self-love. Self-deception is not telling yourself the truth. When you know that you have messed up, you tell yourself the truth enough so that you can be disciplined and you can change. That is telling yourself the truth. See, Marvy, this is your attitude. You have to change it. You eat too much. You must change it. You sleep too much. It's not helping you. You cannot say that I'm loving myself, so I'm not telling myself the truth. Self-love, the fourth dimension of self-love is showing yourself compassion when you make a mistake. Do you see? Showing yourself compassion when you make a mistake. Some people are in the cocoon, in a prison that they put themselves in by themselves. Because you made a mistake 10 years ago, on the 15th of January 2013, till today, you see that it's still clutching you back. You're not able to live above that mistake you've made. You don't really love yourself. Because if you don't know how to show yourself compassion, you will not be able to show another person compassion. So self-love is self-discipline. Number one. Self-love is being anti-fragile, learning to tell yourself, receive feedback and not breaking. Self-love is telling yourself the truth. This is the truth. I'm not gonna lie to myself. I do very bad. That was the truth, sister. Tell yourself the truth. Don't wait until somebody tells you. Tell yourself the truth. Number four, show yourself compassion. Show yourself compassion. And number five, self-love is learning to communicate to another person in a way that does not reduce them so if you talk to yourself in a way that does not reduce you in the way God has seen or God sees you, you are actually loving yourself. Have you heard people say to themselves, I'll be fool? Don't say that to yourself. Don't even think it's a joke. Don't say that, I'll be fool, I'll be mumu. Like, I don't even get sense. You think it's a joke until someone else says it to you. Why? You open the door. So tell yourself the things that God has said about you. Communicate. The self-love is not, oh, I'm just lounging. I'm not doing anything. I'm being mean to people. That's not self-love. If that is your idea of self-love, you could change it from today. That is not self-love. Self-love is discipline. Self-love is telling yourself the truth. Self-love is being anti-fragile, learning to take correction. Self-love is showing yourself compassion. And self-love is communicating, saying kind things, like saying the truth about who God says that you are. I don't know if you understand or you got these dimensions of self.
Yes, we did. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Marvy. TJ, can we hear what self-love, what you have to say about self-love? Then Oluwaseun will be rounding up. You take the final question. Yes, self-love, TJ.
Just as Marvy has said it.
Add your own icing to the cake.
That you don't want to speak after, because you just be looking at your notes and typing out things because she said it all. But I will just make this very simple. Self-love is reminding yourself that you're a work in progress. Thank you.
So
reminding yourself that you are a work in progress. Please, if you are the perfect prim and proper perfectionist, can you remove that cap and just put it? You're putting too much pressure on yourself and the people around you. Awesome, awesome. And in everything that Marvy said, we can. That's just the final answer to all the things that Marvy said. Say kind words to yourself, be anti-frugal, be truthful to yourself. Just know that I'm work in progress. Just know that you are work in progress. It is that simple. A lot of us just put so much burden, so much pressure, expectations. I need to do this. That even when you are supposed to be relaxing, you are stressing yourself, you are working. Can you slow down and live? Can you slow down and live instead of just existing? Live and stop. I can relate with everything we have been discussing here because I have been there. I know it. I just told you, my own daughter telling me, "Mommy, you don't know how to receive love." You really need to be in my shoes to understand that. But I know what it is. Can we all slow down and just be kind to ourselves? We said it that you can only give from your overflow. And if you keep blaming people, condemning people, judging, you are judging yourself. That is what you would do to others. Maybe that is why your relationship with your partner, it's the way it is. You might want to think about it. And let's see how it goes. Okay, Oluwaseun, do you have any other questions?
In fact, my notes are full. I have a question, but I would like to do like a summary, right? So we've started with, in fact, this today has been a fantastic. I've learned a lot. I really want to thank Marvy and TJ, for this very beautiful session. So we started by defining love, and we did not just restrict it to love within a relationship, right? Or within a husband, or within the couple, right? So whatever it is that we have discussed today, by the time that you see that you are applying it to life in general, life actually will be sweet, and it will be more beautiful. And we have also talked about where we need to start from. Self-love. You cannot give what you do not have. Right? So you have to first start with yourself. And I want to thank TJ and Marvy for this beautiful definition, the 5 dimensions, in fact, the 6 dimensions of self-love, adding TJ's own, that we are work in progress, right? So the 6 dimensions, I see the responses from people, and I see that really, really, if we start from there, loving yourself first, then it will be easier to love other people, and to love, whatever it is that we are doing. Because we said if we apply love into our cooking, into our sleeping, by the time you apply love to your sleeping, you won't sleep too much, like Marvy mentioned, right? Now, one very important thing that I drew from what TJ talked about when he was talking about, the relationship between his wife and himself is understanding. If you understand your spouse very well, understand that, now we have been taught that we can only give what we have, right? And that is based on our upbringing and our environment. So we need to be more empathetic towards the people that we relate with, right? Either your spouse or anybody, that why is this person behaving like this? It must be because, maybe their experience or their upbringing. And once that understanding is there, that friction, why are you behaving like this? And you two start reacting will not be there. You'll be more understanding, and then you will share your own. You'll be willing to share your own love or to teach that person, how to love. So before so this takes me to my final question. Dr. Ebon, I hope is my final question. Well, based on what Marvy and Teajay.
A direct question came to me now, and that was I was shaking my head. Maybe let's give the audience the opportunity to ask a question. Somebody said, when we can't receive love, nor give love, can we relate it to childhood trauma? Teajay. When we can't receive love or give love, can we relate it to childhood trauma?
Okay, beautiful question, and thanks for asking that question. Somewhere in the conversation, we started, I think Marvy started notes in that direction. And then I went ahead to say, I put it this way, that what we see love is a combination of so many things, one being your past experiences. And most of our experiences as children, let's look at the African home. There's a video that that I saw Alibaba post about a son who greeted the mom, good morning. That was an Urobo woman from that part of this country, and the woman said, good morning, your head. Which they, if I blow your teeth, it was a very video. Because in my place, you must butu, you must go down and greet me, go ma, go, whichever it is. And this song was just like a prank. He was pranking the mom, and the mom took it really serious, wanted to remove the teeth, So imagine growing up in that kind of environment where the language spoken to you, the tone in which the words were thrown out to you, the action in which love was expressed. You grew up seeing the fights between your parents. You grew up seeing, hearing abusive words. You grew up having all that. The truth is, the human mind or soul is like a storage device. It does not tell you it is saving, but it saves perfectly, especially in your formative years. It saves your experiences into, there's this movie, what's an animation, what's the name? Inside Out. Yes, Inside Out. I recommend you watch it. Inside Out explains what I'm saying very well. It just shows how your emotions react based on the things you have stored. So I like the cartoon. There's like one drawer, childhood slap. There's one drawer somewhere in your mind that's called childhood slap. There's another drawer called childhood abuses. There's another one, childhood bully. All those things are there. And as you grow, they don't disappear. They're there. One day, an event will trigger a trigger to open those files, and those files will be read to your current reality. And the truth is, because you're not aware, you don't have the capacity to manage the effects of those things. So yes, absolutely yes. Inability of some people, it's not the only one, but inability of some people to express and experience love could be tied to childhood trauma. So see my daughter who's all here climbing me, kissing me and all that. It's coming to me in the middle of nowhere, just coming to say, Daddy, I love you. Imagine how much of love personified she's growing to be. Yeah, her memories, her experiences will be all the thing, and then when I tell her that I'm going to spank you because you do one or two things, like this morning, she got up and she said, Daddy, no, yesterday she said, Daddy, I won't stress you. I won't stress mommy. I can clean, I can wash. This morning she took broom, and daddy, I've swept the parlor. She's trying to negotiate her way out of being span. But at the end of the day, we laugh over everything. Just imagine how this child will grow versus the child that for every wrong action she receives a slap or a knock. So those things, every of all those actions are programming. So sometimes you are, that's why I said it's not your fault of the way you are. However, events like this, the training you have, help you come to that consciousness where you can now start walking back and then walking yourself out of it. Because if you don't take that journey, with all due respect, no positive talk, no affirmation, no prayer. I'm going to say this to all our religious brothers and sisters. I am very religious, but no prayer will take you out of this. You need to walk yourself out of it, because it was not the devil that put it there. It was not prayer that put it there. They were experiences that you need to acknowledge, learn how to walk yourself, unlearn some things that those experiences have gotten to you, and then relearn how to live with love. And you are not too old, and it's never too late to live and experience love. Never too late. You're never too old. Remember, you are loved and you are loved. Thank you.
It is never too late to retrace yourself, to take yourself back. Yes, childhood trauma contributed to who you have become, not being able to receive or give love. It is part of it. Childhood trauma can also be your significant emotional experience or the environment you grew up from. And this is like a warning to every parent in the house. If you need to change how you interact with your children so that they don't end up becoming like you, whatever it is that you're going through. Because, Teajay just said it, we're being conditioned to it. So just imagine you conditioning your children, and imagine what your children will turn out to be in the future. They will not be able to know how to receive, and people will be complaining and be looking at them, pushing them away, and this is how it all started. The way you are dealing with them now, handling them now, is the way it started. Some of us, when we're growing up, we just be like, go away, John, what's all that? Get out, I'm tired. All those things. You know how all those things work. That is the kind of environment some of us grew up from. Some of us grew up from the home where they are waking you even for morning prayers. They are shouting and beating you and slapping you to say, get out, come out, come, my friend, get out and let's go and pray. We want to pray, oh. And they are doing all that, all those harsh things. Of course, we don't blame our parents. That's the way they were also raised, and they did not know better. So now that I said something where we started that our awareness should be a plus to us. All this information we are exposed to should be a plus to us. And that is why we are saying that maybe you probably need to trace your step back to how you were raised and what you need to do. It is not your fault, whoever you have become, but it is your responsibility not to remain there. Thank you very much. Over to you, Oluwaseun.
Okay, yeah. So on the very final note, right, the last question, which I've been holding back. I think I really deliberately wanted to make it the last question. And I drew it, I think I drew something from Marvy as well, but it also came up, when Teajay was speaking. So I would like Marvy to speak to it. And it's about how to sustain this love. Is there a point in time where, is that something that can make you stop loving, or something that can make you do something otherwise? And that is why I said something Teajay said, because you expect that somebody who is from such a loving environment will not think of suicide. Remember that Teajay said that at some point in time he was suicidal. Now you expect that somebody who has been hugged, especially from his dad, our mom and everything, what can make us stop loving, and what can sustain this love? Because really, sometimes we're human beings, you can just get to that breaking point. So what can help us to sustain this love throughout our lives so that we can have, that smooth journey. Yes, we might have rough ends, but at least it won't end up so badly, either in our homes, with our couples, or even the people that we work with, the people on the road. Like we said, we're talking about love and life in general. On a final note. Thank you, Marvy.
Okay, so from what TJ really said, a lot of things in the very last question about trauma, and it hit me that the reason why some people are stuck in in the in they are not being lovable, or in they are not giving love, is because they have a faulty perception about love in the first place. They don't even know what love is. So they're still dealing with that trauma, and they haven't quite gotten the healing that they deserve. So what is it that can make you to be unlovable, to stop loving, right? I think that the three things that Dr. Evo mentioned, your environment, your significant emotional experiences, the things you've been through, really, and the people that you have been with can make you not to love. And I think that when someone is in an environment where there is a lot of love, and then the person eventually gets mixed up with other people, and as you grow, you try to, there's a tendency to want to experiment, there's a tendency to want to know what the other world feels like. There's a tendency, I remember something my second son asked me that, "Mommy, why are people poor?" Why are people poor? Because I told him, when you get your food, you should say thank you. Don't think that don't start saying, the kind of things you tell your children. Please, or when you get your food, say thank you. This is what we have to offer for today. You must be grateful for it, right? Be grateful for what you have. And then he goes, "Why should I be grateful for what I have?" And I said, "It's because you have. That's enough reason to be grateful. You should be grateful that you have, because there are many people who don't have." And he goes, "Why don't they have?" I said, "I don't know. Maybe because they made poor choices, or they are poor, or they just don't have." And he goes, "Okay, so why are people poor?" And that question, I didn't see it coming. It just,
You're not prepared for it.
I was not prepared for it. And I said, well, people are poor mostly because of the kind of decisions that they made earlier in their lives. I think poverty is a choice. People are poor because of the choices that they've made. Largely, I know there are circumstantial poverties. There are things that happen to you, but largely, you are first of all poor in your mind before you are poor physically. So people are poor because they have made the decision to be poor. So why did I go this route? For him to ask me this question, I can imagine the thousands and thousands of things that have been going through his head. I can imagine, well, because one day he told me that we are poor. Because I told him that people, because, so when he asked me for something, and I said, "Oh, I'm not able, right now we have other things, that there are more things that we need to prioritize over what you want for now." But he said, "Okay, so does that mean we are poor?" He asked all these questions. So why did I talk about this in relation to love, and if you can lose love? Sometimes when you veer off the path that you are raised, when you make choices, especially for you who grew up in a loving environment, and you want to taste what that other path looks like and feels like, and you feel that the people and you make a mistake, and you feel that the people who loved you will you feel that they'll be disappointed in you if you told them what you passed through. It could hinder you from, not being consistent with your love. It could hinder you from, beginning to shrink, because you've also mixed up with other people. You've begun to see things from other people's perspectives. You've gone to hear what other people are saying, and at first it might sound like Greek, but you've it's like you are in your own house until you come out. In your house, there's AC, there's everything you need, until you come out and see the harsh realities of life. Do you see what I mean? So now you've seen the another perspective. So, but to preserve love, you need to be rooted, you need to be anchored on where you are coming from. You need to have that sense of anchor, that this is where I'm coming from, this is who I am. Essentially, no matter what I see going on around, I take a stance of, who am I? Where am I from? Where am I coming from? What is important to me as a person? So if you're listening to this and you are struggling, I don't know if I'm answering your question. No. I
I
don't know
think
if
you
I'm
are.
answering your
Yes, you
question.
are. Yes, you
Yes,
are. You
because
are.
I feel like if you're listening to me and you are going through, you are questioning the love ideologies that you've always known, I want you to go back to the beginning. What were you taught, or what was imbibed in you? Those things that were imbibed, are they serving you? And if they are not, can you question it? And can you decide, for the purpose of humanity, for the sake of humanity, the things that you have to do, the people around you, impact, purpose, and all of that, can you decide to tweak, some of these ideologies that are not serving you? So there is a point in your life, I'm just saying that there is a point in your life where you will need to ask yourself hard questions. You will need to, it is okay to make mistakes. It's okay to also backtrack. It's okay to also come back, to where you started from. It's okay to retrace your steps. So yes, you can, because of choices that you've made, because of people you've interacted with, because of the things that may not have been your fault that you've been through, people being mean. Imagine a child raised in this kind of loving environment and your parents suddenly die. And then immediately you are sent to go and live with people. And those people are not very kind. Initially, it will look like an introduction to an environment that you have never
You're
experienced before.
strange.
But guess
Yeah.
what? If you're not careful, you will begin to lose the essence of where you're coming from, and you begin to imbibe that place. Let's say that you are the very first job you get, you enter into a toxic environment. You have two choices. Is either you leave or you become like them, or maybe
You
there's a
flow.
third choice, which is be yourself. But it's going to be very, very tough. I mean, you really have to be anchored to be in that kind of environment and not get contaminated with the toxicity. You marry, you are from a very respectful background, and then you get married where people use abuse to greet each other. There's going to be a tendency that you will be stained, you become like that,
Yeah.
right? And you go to your own family home and they're wondering what happened to Marvy. She didn't used to be this vulgar. But that's where you have now been sown into. So there is disappointment. There is a total change of experience that may or may not be your fault. And then there is just life happening to people. When people grow up, when at every season of life, things begin to mean different things to you. But you need to still go back. You need to still retrace your steps. You need to still have an anchor. If you are anchored, the same reason why you are not going to cheat on your spouse when you feel that they are not speaking your love language, that same reason is the reason why you are going to continue to love the way you are going to love. Because you'll find some people who can speak your language and you'll be tempted to want to be to
Straight
want
to their
to,
side.
yes, because you feel that they speak your language, but you have forgotten that in love there is nurturing. You can also nurture the people in your life so that they can treat you the way you want to be treated. So I'm saying a lot, but I want to believe that you.
Yeah, I think you have answered the question, but I also love to hear from TJ. And on that note, we'll close. I'll hand over to Dr. Ebo. So TJ, like you always summarize. That's all that
Can you
Marvy
hear
has
me?
said, and then you throw your own.
So, TJ, are you there?
Yes. Yeah, can you hear me?
TJ asks you,
Yes.
yes. So we have two questions in the chat section.
Uh-oh.
So I want you to put everything together. The question Oluwaseun asked to say how do we sustain? So what are the things we need to do to infuse ourselves with that love such that it does not wear out, kind of. Then this person said, what can we do when the love you give is not being reciprocated in the same measure? Are we not to give back what we receive? We've had that conversation along the line, but I still want you to
Okay. Once again,
just
like Marvy has said,
standing on the
everything
existing protocol.
yeah. Okay, I would she said a lot, but let me just add one thing. And I think this is one of the, this will also answer the second question somehow, though I will say something else. One of the ways to sustain love is to practice advanced forgiveness. Yeah, we need to learn to forgive in advance. The truth is, if you understood all we have said, then no one owes you the right response that you require, that you desire. No one owes you that. Everybody will respond based on their capacity. So you see, my daughter here cannot do certain things, no matter how I want her to do it. And it's very obvious. So also some partners are just like my daughter. In other words, they may be big outside, but the love they have is still like this. It's not grown to the place where they can, reason and express the way you desire. What my responsibility is, like I said, is to help her ensure she grows. So what do my daughter, did certain things. I bought her a board and everything. She finished the whole marker one day, and then she went to the wall and she started writing. Now that she can write, we'll call her professor. Is it my wall she would write? My son, I just painted the house, and he stays on the top bunk, and he went to the roof and he wrote, "I love my dad." On the roof, I just painted white. Like I just painted white. But the guy was expressing his love. Probably he wanted to lie down and be seeing that in every day. While I'm getting angry, he is enjoying the love his father has for him. So, what have I done? I've told myself, see, they are children. They will do what children do and not what adults do. And part of what children do sometimes is to mess things, and that's part of the whole experience. And you fix it, and you're fixing it, you are training them how to fix things. Yeah. So you see, I'm giving a different meaning to these things because I understand better, and I'm practicing advanced forgiveness. And guess what? One thing that does to me is strengthens my heart. It heals and strengthens my heart. So there's already a force field against anything that anybody will do. So I don't see what people do. I see how I respond to anything they will do. And how I respond to them is love. And then moving to the second question is this. I don't owe you anything. Now, so we can get into this, but this is marriage conversation. Yes. But the fact that this is marriage does not redefine love. Marriage only gives you an opportunity to experience and express it in even a more intimate way. So my simple answer is keep loving until love is exhausted. And when will love be exhausted?
Never.
So if I'm sitting to wait, if you're sitting to wait to get love, the truth is, if you're waiting for love to be reciprocated, that's actually transactional, and that's not love. Yeah, love is unconditional. But I know rightly you deserve to have a feeling in marriage. Or rather, you deserve to get a response from your partner. Yes, your partner owes you a response as a responsibility in the marriage. That you handle in the place of conversations, or rather, you build strong communication. So sit down, and sometimes as African, the only place we really talk love is when we are watching those romantic movies. We really don't sit down with our partners. We won't sit down with our partners. We're discussing many other things, but we're discussing some simple critical things about what love truly is. How I love to be loved. How I love to love you, and how I love you to respond when I love you. We don't have these conversations. We should have these conversations. There's nothing wrong having these conversations. I love you too. That is what saying something here. Okay. And if you have these conversations, now the truth is your partner would not also just respond because you started having the conversations. But guess what? Keep having the conversations. Keep finding creative ways to express it. Keep just doing it. And like I told you, your partner will respond in their language, not in your language. So stop expecting them to love you in your language. Learn to appreciate that this is how they can love you. Yeah.
I want
Thank
to
you.
share something from my personal opinion about this question. You see, I got married, like this year will be 12 years I got married. And I think I've shared this with Dr. Ebon before. When I got married, I came into marriage with rose-colored glasses, that this is what marriage should look like and feel like. You know, it's supposed to be romance and saying I love you every day and all of that. Because I mean, what's not to love about me, right? And so I was thrown into, so this is my own personal experience, and I'm thinking that for these two people who asked this question, it will help you, because that's how I worked on my own, on myself. So I felt that when I got in fact, my husband, I felt my husband did not send me. He will go to work. He will stay in the office till like 12 o'clock. He will come back late. He will not help me to do chores. You know, I was like, what is wrong with this man? And I was cantankerous. I felt not loved. I felt not appreciated. I felt like I was not, the love I was showing was not being reciprocated. But after a while, I asked myself, I started working on myself, you know, I started reading books. And, you know, even in the midst of these things, I asked him, when I call him, that, oh, yeah, sit down, let us talk about, he'll be like, I beg, I beg, I beg. There are more important things to do. And guess what the more important things are? Football. My husband will watch football, oh, if they are playing that match by 2, my husband will watch that football. Not seeing what you go do, you go watch them. My husband will watch football, oh. My husband will come back from work. His way of relaxing is to press phone. After pressing phone, he will watch CSI, he will watch all those programs, he will watch everything. He will not come and watch football on top. So I felt not loved, I felt not appreciated, I felt all of those things. And then one day I asked myself, maybe I am taking this thing the wrong way. So the first thing I did was trying to understand him. So you have been living with somebody you don't understand. You just assume that they will be just the way you did. You, this man lost his parents at the before 10, and that they were now thrown into different households. How is this man going to think you're not okay? Oh? You know, I started talking to myself that you need to calm down, you need to calm down. So I started understanding. So the first thing you can do is to understand, step out of your own cocoon, your own ideology of what reciprocation of love is or should be, and try and understand him. And then the second thing I started doing was to take what he liked seriously. So now I'm an Arsenal fan, no, whether you like it or not. I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm an Arsenal fan. That's one. Secondly, I work with him. So I know that this man is interested in work. If I ask him any question, if you see the way he will start talking, say, you don't used to talk before. No problem. Let's start from where you are more comfortable with talking. So I'll ask him work-related questions. He will answer. I will give him tipping. I don't try to overtake the conversation. I just allow him to talk. And then, you know, chipping one or two things I know in that field. Sometimes he may not want to take it because, you know, and then after a while he'll come back and say, hey, that thing you said, it makes sense. So can you explain it more? You know, I'm getting the attention small. Now, they understand his own love language. Just like Teajay said, they are not going to speak your love language. Most of the time, they will communicate love in their own language. I mean, it takes somebody who is educated, it takes somebody who is intentional to speak your language to you, even when they have their own language. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to understand that when he's buying me expensive bag, when he's doing this, when he's doing that, when he's doing all those, even that office that he is working, in his mind, it's because he loves his wife. That's why he's working, because he does not ever want to come and he's not able to take care of the needs of the home. That's why he's doing. That's his ideology. He does not want to ever have children that are thrown hither and thither, if for any reason. You know, he keeps on going back to what happened to him. That because his father did not keep anything for them, the moment they died, they threw them hither and thither, scattered them. Now one is in Jamaica, one is in this place, one is in that place. And that you have your sister. If your sister can cry from her husband's house to your house to come and cry on your shoulder. He does not have that. He does not have that opportunity. So how do you expect him to love you that way? So I want you to do this. I want you to take a trip outside yourself and camp in his camp. I want you to understand how he wants to be loved. I want you to understand why he acts the way he does and try to second guess. So you're a step ahead. You have to be wise in these things. You're now a step ahead. Just like TJ said, you tell the wife buys the gift. That gift communicates, I love you. Okay, so open your mouth and say, I love you. Just say it, whether you mean it or not, even if you're just mounting. I'm the one that taught him how to celebrate birthdays. I taught him that celebrating birthdays are not for the weak. I taught him how to have family dinners. I taught him all of those things. You can teach him how you want to be loved. It might look like he's not learning, but he's learning. So don't just stay in your own little, or unless there are other dimensions, which we're not talking about here, but do the work of understanding how he wants to be loved. That's just what I want to say.
Awesome, awesome. It's been an interesting one, guys in the house. How has the experience been? Thank you very much, TJ and Marvy. You guys melt my heart, and love is all I've got for you. Thank you so, 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 so much, guys. It's been an interesting evening, and for Abosede and Femi Oduyemi, thank you very much for these questions. Thank you for your vulnerability. I really want to say that taking us back to what TJ said when we started, he said, loving is the easiest and the most difficult things to do. The easiest and the most difficult things to do. And Marvy has explained that, how that she needed to take a step back and say, okay, let me understand this man. What exactly is, I'm sure you know that can be very difficult, because this is new wife that is waiting for husband to be loving dovey and doing all the touching and the smooshing and you know what, how women, you know how we can be now, expecting so much. But she needed to borrow herself the brain to say, okay. From then, she thought she saw that, oh, okay, this guy, his upbringing can be contributing to this thing that is happening. Oh, okay, let me just allow it. So let me now recheck or retrace my expectations of him. And with that, he was able to get some of the things, and he was able to, at least he's making headway. Like TJ said, we're all work in progress. So for you, waiting to receive, TJ said it, Marvy said it. Do you want to take a step back to say, okay, this is the way I give. Okay, well, so what's that thing that this lady does in a unique way? Is it touch? Is it service, acts of service, or she just like to sit with you just there? That's sitting with you, quality time. That's quality time for that person. So you might want to pay attention, just like the two of them said, it takes intentionality to see all these things. They might not be kissing you and rubbing your head and all that. You want to look at some other things where they express their love and become intentional about it, to say, okay, let's talk about it. If you know that you don't know how to say I love you, I like to hear I love. I want you to say it now. Oh yeah, tell me. Remember how TJ explained that he had to be teaching his wife to say, oh yeah, say it. I love you. I love you. Marriage gives you the opportunity to express and experience love. Marriage is not love. Most of us will just believe that if we enter marriage, oh yeah, we should. But the truth of the matter is we are all evolving and changing. So at that point, maybe what's happening is that guy that was lovey-dovey when you were cutting, maybe what happened is he has changed, because the truth of the matter is people change. We just forget to tell each other. We just expect that it is how it was during honeymoon. But the truth is we have changed. Maybe we should now be intentional in saying, oh, okay, oh, this is what you expect. Oh, okay. The truth is I have changed though. This is what I want. I just want you to be telling me I love you every day. Or be giving me money. Or be buying gifts for me. It can be anything. So TJ also said we should practice advanced forgiveness. And that explains we are all work in progress. A lot of us just go into marriage with a lot of expectations. I call them unrealistic expectations. You want to start thinking about it. You're 10 years in marriage and you're still expecting the same thing that was happening when you were 6 months in marriage. You might want to think about it to say, okay, even if you still want that, can we talk about it? How do we express it? You know that me, I have to do school runs. I don't have all the time for all these things. When he's watching the ball, do you want to sit and just be rubbing his leg? It is part of expressing love. You might be surprised that that is what your husband wants. Just sit there, don't say anything, and just be touching his leg. Or you just decide to cut the nails, toenails. It can be anything. You want to retrace and think about all these things. It's been an interesting evening, and I'm so excited about what we have learned this evening. Oluwaseun said her book is full. My own too is full because me too, I'm learning. I'm in between marriage. So me too, I'm learning. I'm paying attention to all of these things. So I have dropped a phone number in the chat section if you like to take the love assessment. You know, all of us have been, the four of us have been saying something about love language, love language. You want to know your love language and your spouse love language. You want to take that assessment. You can reach out to that number and it will be sent to you at a token. People pay for it, but it's because you are from family meeting, we are going to give you a very subsidized rate, and that is to generate the report, because writing the reports, it's time consuming. So for the people that will write the reports, that's what the token is for. And if you know or you think that you're suffering from some pain, from childhood trauma, because the truth is, the husband and the wife, we come into marriage carrying baggages from our past, but blast from the past. And we just expect things to just go rosy as we have think and imagine in our head. The triggers will always come up, and you will just be conflicting and colliding. If you want to go through the healing session, we have the healing session, and this will take us through the childhood trauma and help us to be whole. You can also reach out to the number. With this, we come to the end of family meeting, the February edition. Yay! It's been an interesting one. Love and life. Mix love with everything. The taste will be different. Mix love with everything, even the way you use sponge on your body in the bathroom. Mix love with it. You will see that you will always want to have your bath. Those of us that used to run away from the bathroom, you will always want to mix love with everything. The way you wear your clothes, the way you see yourself in the mirror, mix love with it. Look at yourself. I am loved and I am loved. Say it in an affectionate way, and you will see the way your day will go every time you do that. Mix love. Love is very important. It gives our life the beautiful melody. Remember we said it. Remember we said it. When you call love, it has a feeling, it has a way of making you happy, and it just triggers an hormone, just touch an hormone in you, and you just hear the giz, 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 you know? And so without love, our life will not be in tune. Oluwaseun said it when we started. That is what is missing in our world, in our nation especially, and that is why we are where we are. If you show love in your family is the smallest unit of the society. Show love in your family. Your children go out. You also go to the office. They show love. That is how love grows. Let us inculcate the right value into our children, and let's be happy. Thank you very much, everyone. Teajay, Marvy, you know I love you forever.
Today I go come see baby girl like this now. I don't get baby girl. You're just rubbing it on my face.
Her name is Marvel.
Oh,
my name is Marvelous. That's my full name. So she's my namesake. That's how we understand each other.
Oluwaseun, thank you very much. Good evening,
Somebody
Marvel.
asked a question in the comments. We didn't see. What do you do if your partner is competitive with his wife?
Okay,
A whole new
sorry,
dimension of
Abiodun Razak.
Mhm.
Did I miss the question? Oh, what do you do if your partner is competitive with the wife? Oh, now what, TJ? Competition.
What are they competing?
Competition is not love now. It's not,
Oh,
unless they are competing to love each other.
You said everything.
Ah.
yeah. I think
Everything.
Abiodun Razak, that makes it, wait, just hold on a minute, baby. That makes it more interesting. Like I said, see, one of the things we learned in NLP is that nothing is anything except the meaning you
Meaning
give to it.
to it.
Nothing is anything. Please note that. Nothing is anything except the meaning you give to it. You could choose to see, don't want a partner to work. Okay, so Abiodun Razak, I would recommend after now, because one of the things we need to do is a diagnosis. Yeah, I would recommend after now, there's the helpline that has been sent. You'd want to call so we have that conversations, because we may just talk blindly right now. Okay, but what I'm still saying here is this. Nothing is anything except the meaning. And the truth is, if you give a meaning that is disempowering, this is what happens. Okay, Marvel, since you don't want Daddy to talk, you go and play with your brother that way. Okay, this is what happens. Once you have that disempowering meaning, everything that comes, no matter how good it is, it comes with a sour taste. Because your mind is fixating on what is disempowering. That's how the mind works. So everything, even sometimes he may be trying hard not to not want you to work, but because your mind is at that point, everything he does would read that to you. So there's trauma somewhere there, and there are triggers that are putting in. So there's a number there that's just shared. It's we can have sessions where we'll walk through the whole scenario, and then this is to everyone here. There's no quick fix to these things in life. There's no quick fix. There's no just Satan like this and it disappears. We all need to work with counselors, work with coaches, work with therapists. We all need these people. They are critical in our life. So don't just assume and think, I can chest it and that. No, you may just chest yourself with away from, what you desire. So please reach out, always ask for help. And just like you're asking questions here, always seek. Let me just end on this. It's easy for us to look for a hairdresser to fix our hair when it's not looking good. Yeah, external. It's easy to look for a tailor to fix your cloth when it's not looking good, external. And then, now listen to this, we run to a doctor when there's crisis. Yeah, we run to a doctor, so we take care of the outer part of the covering of the body. We now take care of the body like a basically, and then the most important thing, which is your mind, you don't give attention to. When last, and one of the ways you give attention to your mind is by speaking to therapists, counselors, coaches, and all these people. And if your mind is not in order, your life is chaos waiting to happen. Our minds, without our mind, you can't function. Without your mind, you can do anything. And then we're so always in a hurry. We're not asking for help. And, if you go down and trace the history of a lot of crashed relationships and all that, it's all what was happening here that came out from here and here. Yeah, so you need to ensure you invest in ensuring you have a healthy state of mind. Thank God for God's grace. There are a lot of things that shock me, but I've given my mind its own shock therapy. So those things, they come like they bounce. Yes, they bounce and they go. I'll end with this scripture. It says, "Thou will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed we need to learn how to stay our mind. You don't just feel, my mind is still. No. That I just did as a part of meditation that you do that. But we need to learn how to stay our mind. And this is where you need these people. So please reach out to the number and don't always be shy to ask for help.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Any other question, guys? Is the time well spent?
Yes, it's time. It's almost time for Arsenal. So we need to. Arsenal is playing. Marvy has to go.
We need to go.
It's time for Arsenal to be beaten.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, TJ. Thank you once again, Marvy. Thank you for always yielding to my call. Thank you, Omoteniola. Thank you, Abidemi. Thank you, Betty Idowu. Billy Kiss, thank you. Tina, Pokanu, Queen, thank you very much for joining. Next month is International Women's Month, and we are going to be celebrating that in the house. Guys, please celebrate our guests. Let's appreciate our guests. Let's appreciate our guests. Ndi, thank you. Christiana, thank you. Temilade Oluremi, thank you. Oluwatobi Loba, Oketunde, Oyedayo, thank you for joining. Nike, thank you for joining. I truly appreciate you. See you next month. And remember, the number is in the chat session. Oh my God, exceptional Ekwase. Nice having you. Nice having you here. Thank you so much, sis. I celebrate and honor you. Thank you so much, Oluwaseun. It's a beautiful evening with you today, and I appreciate you. Thank you. Have a beautiful rest of the day and the beautiful rest of the weekend.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for the opportunity.